Good morning to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our tropical weather outlook for August 28th, 2025. Today, we are talking about, once again, we're going to have to watch the Eastern Atlantic, as I've mentioned over the last several days. There is a loose signal for development that we might need to watch from a tropical wave that'll probably emerge off the coast of Africa early next week. And now the National Hurricane Center has taken note of this potential signal. Because of that, the latest 8 a.m. tropical weather bulletin this morning, they have marked the East Atlantic for potential development with a chance, and this is, I think, brand new as of the 8 a.m. tropical weather outlook. A eastern tropical wave is forecast to emerge off the west coast of Africa on Sunday. So again, at the end of this week, heading into early next week. Thereafter, environmental conditions could support some slow development of the system while it moves westward to west-northwestward at 15 to 20 miles per hour, moving across the eastern Atlantic and central tropical Atlantic next week. And they have a chance of development low at 20% over the next 7 days. So there it is, the area that I've been talking about over the last several days, finally beginning to show up on the National Hurricane Center as well. And we also have Fernand, which has now become a post-tropical system, as I said it would. So no need to worry about this system here anymore. Fernand is just going to head on off to the northeast and will not be any concern for us tropical-wise. So no need to talk about Fernand anymore. In the Eastern Pacific, we have two areas of interest here. We have this one area which is a high chance of development, and this is very likely to become our next tropical system after Juliet here, which has also become a post-tropical system this morning, 35 miles per hour. And this, again, is probably just going to die out and fade away over the northern Eastern Pacific here over the next few days. So no need to worry about Juliet anymore. This area here in the Central Pacific, this had a chance of development a few days ago, but this is not going to develop. Now it's up to our next two areas here in the Eastern Pacific that we're going to have to watch for potential development. And again, looks like we're going to have an activity burst here for the next week, and would not be surprised if we get around 2 or 3 more named storms out of the Eastern Pacific over the next week to 10 days. And then, obviously, we're going to start seeing things ramp up in the Atlantic after that. So here's a satellite image of how things are going this morning. You can see Fernand here in the far northern Atlantic, just a swirling, shell of a low. And again, that's just going to disintegrate as it heads further north. And then throughout the deep tropics, we have some activity this morning. We have a tropical wave here, which is pretty aggressive to the southeast of the islands. And then we kind of have, I think, some sort of monsoon situation here just off the west coast of Africa. But again, environmental conditions not too favorable for development just yet. And then we have quite a bit of activity over Central America. This is going to make its way into the Eastern Pacific and obviously help contribute to East Pacific development over the next week. And I just want to show you where all the tropical waves are right now, because this actually gives you a pretty good look of where all the tropical waves are currently located, not just in the Atlantic, but even in the Pacific too, because yes, a lot of these tropical waves do move across the Atlantic and sometimes make their way into the Pacific and help contribute to tropical development there. And it's definitely happened quite a bit this year, and it happens every single year. But we do have quite a bit of tropical waves, one coming off the coast of Africa right now, and then there's one out here that's very aggressive in the central Atlantic, as I just showed you. I think this is it. Pretty aggressive wave here with quite a bit of convection this morning, although probably not going to do much. And then we have a few more waves scattered throughout the Caribbean, and then one in the Eastern Pacific, and I do believe this is the area that the National Hurricane Center has marked as an 80% chance of development in the next week. So that's probably going to develop and become our next storm in the Eastern Pacific. But I do want to shift your attention back to Africa. We haven't looked at a satellite image of Africa in a while, but this is where all of the tropical waves originate, as you probably know by now, especially if you've been tracking the tropics for a while. And this is where we're going to have to watch over the next several days to see when more of these tropical waves begin to develop off Africa here. And there's especially one very interesting looking wave here that's still over central eastern Africa. I think this is the wave that we're going to have to watch heading into this weekend that the National Hurricane Center has highlighted, that is probably going to move off the coast of Africa on Sunday. Or at least I think it's probably going to be this wave here because it looks the most aggressive out of all the waves over Africa right now. And we're going to have to watch this very closely again because as this moves off the coast of Africa, there seems to be a model signal that something could try to develop next week in the MDR. And I'll show you what the models show this morning, starting off with the GFS. And let's take it out to you here over the next week. And you can kind of see here as the wave moves off Africa, you can see some of the vorticity energy here splashes down. But at least on the GFS, as I take it out over the next week, the GFS doesn't seem to do much. And the GFS is actually pretty bearish on activity over the next week. Let's see what the European shows as of the 0Z run for them. And they too don't show much, although they show a little bit more of a stronger vorticity signature here off the coast of Africa. I guess the models are picking up really strongly on whatever dry air and shear we might have in the northern Atlantic, and let me really quickly actually show you that. There is quite a bit of dry air, especially off the northwestern coast of Africa. We do have a very strong ridge here, and that's probably going to pump in quite a bit of dry air, and that will obviously lead to some inhibiting, or that will probably inhibit some development here in the MDR. So maybe that's what the models are showing, and hence why things are not favorable right now, and that clearly has an effect on whatever wave that tries to develop here in the eastern MDR. But you can see European very aggressive here on something over Africa, and this is a typical bias that the Euro has where it likes to sometimes spin up. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let me go to the vorticity. Sometimes the European has this thing where it really likes to spin up, or with waves that are really aggressive, they end up showing them develop pretty much over land over Africa, and that's a bias. It's not going to happen. We're not going to have a tropical wave develop over land wall on Africa. But I mean, it is a very aggressive wave, and I'll actually really quickly take it out here for the next 2 weeks. And you can see, actually, in the longer range, the European does seem to do a little bit more with this wave, or at least it, keeps it as a very aggressive signal here that maybe tries to develop. But as you can see here, as we go out towards beyond the next week, you'll start seeing things get a lot more active here in the tropical Atlantic. So, as I said again, things might not be active now, but they're definitely getting active later on. And then finally, I want to show you the European ensemble members. And as we take that out over the next week, the 0Z run still shows quite an aggressive signal here coming off the coast of Africa. And then you could also see towards the very end of the frame that other wave that I just showed you. But the main signal, and this is what the National Hurricane Center has highlighted this morning, quite a few ensemble members here, and of course we'll have to watch over the next several days to see if this will actually materialize, if environmental conditions will be favorable enough that this might try to develop, but the signal is there, and the National Hurricane Center has now tagged it this morning. So it looks like it is time to watch the Eastern Atlantic once again for tropical development as we head here throughout the next week. And this is all typical because this is now peak season, and it's August 28th. We are just days away from the month of September. So pretty much on cue with the fact that we have to watch for development once again in the Eastern Atlantic. And then obviously in the Pacific, things will probably be active as well there for at least the next week. With that being said, I'm going to end it off for this morning's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, of course, I always encourage you to leave a like, comment, and especially, comment any thoughts or questions you have below. I'll try to answer them. And subscribe to my channel. I do these videos every single day, especially now that we're in the peak of the season. So please make sure to subscribe turn on the notification bell so you can get this video and any video that I upload the moment I upload it. And be sure to share with family and friends as well. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, I'll be back with more tomorrow. See you then.